Coming up on That LTD Life, we're going to talk about music. We're going to set the right vibe for your podcast or get the right background music for your Twitch stream, maybe even enhance your social media ads. This is Persona Music, and for a one-time fee of $29, they will grant you access to thousands of songs that you can use indefinitely on your content. That's right, this is a lifetime deal over at AppSumo. My name is Dave Swift, by the way. I'm from ClientAmp.com, and if you're new to this content, what I do is I try out these tools. You get kind of an over-the-shoulder type of view, and I'll be telling you everything I like, everything I dislike, no holds barred. This is not a sponsored video. I'm just going to give you my honest feedback, and if you like the content, you want to support it, you can click the link in the description, which will link you over to buy Persona Music or anything over at AppSumo. That helps support the channel. All right, let's get right into it here. What are we getting for $29? Because I gotta say, that is dirt cheap. In typical AppSumo fashion, there is actually 3 plans, and they go all the way up to $149. Still pretty cheap when we're talking about music. I mean, have you ever licensed music before? It's not inexpensive. So tier 1, $29, that gives you just a single user, but you get unlimited usage here. We can use it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, podcasts, and TikTok. If you spend just $30 more, and I think for a lot of people, this will be the sweet spot, you'll get tier 2, which gives you unlimited users. So it could be you and your editor, or maybe you collaborate with somebody and you want to be able to both log in and find music. Well, then go ahead and grab tier 2. We also get access to, this could be more important, paid ads, client work, commercial work. So we can use their music on those platforms. Probably a good idea because, you never know when something's going to spring up and you'll want some music for something that's paid. And you could have spent $30 one time and had access to it. And that's just probably a good idea. Now, they do offer tier 3 here, and that might also work for a lot of people. Let me help you explain what is included in tier 3 that sets it apart. First thing is sound effects. That could be huge. It's $90. So $90 for some sound effects seems like a lot to me, just in comparison. I mean, it doesn't really, but in comparison to the other plans, it seems like a lot. We also get AI searches, 10 per day, which also includes their open search and sounds similar features. These are all something I will go over shortly. Now, I gotta say 10 is not very much. I almost feel like this should be unlimited or maybe capped at like 100 or something like that. I know a lot of tools are including AI searching. Other music libraries are just including AI searches with their regular plans. They could be, more expensive plans, but yeah, that's something I would like to see is more of those, but we get 10. We'll try it out and see how it goes. The last feature is called stems. Now, this is something for maybe people who are looking for more detail out of their music that they're going to be including in their songs. What a stem is individual files that make up the entire composition. So let me back up. If you are listening to a song, it probably has some drums and it probably has some guitar and some bass guitar, maybe some piano or synthesizers. Well, there'll be a separate file for each grouping of instruments, and that's what makes up stems. So you'll be able to blend the volumes between each of those instruments or even take them out completely based on the production that you're doing. So great if you're doing film work, maybe some documentary style things where you want to have more control over the music. But if you're just looking for some background music for your Twitch stream or your podcast, probably less critical that you get stems. All right, so we're going to check out the plan right now. I've already got tier 3, so I can try out everything. Before we do, I just want to say that I'm pretty equipped to be reviewing this. I actually worked in the music licensing world for several years. I was in the music industry for about 20 years. I licensed my own music to TV shows. I worked on the other side of things. So yeah, definitely feel like I have a good leg to stand on here when I'm reviewing this platform. The 2 main things that I think are going to be most important to the general population is the music any good? That's first and foremost, because it doesn't matter how cheap it is. If the music isn't high quality or it doesn't suit your taste, well, then who really cares? Now, I'm going to listen to some of the music throughout this video. We'll get a little sampling, but don't let that be your only judge. There's thousands of tracks, so I can't possibly go through all of them inside of this review. The other thing I'm going to be looking for is how quickly can I find good music, because that is also very critical. Is the user interface intuitive? Can I get in and out and find a track that's going to fit? It's going to be the right mood for my content. Very, very important. So here is my account over on Persona. I've been playing around with it a little bit, but not in great detail. So there's a few things that I like, a few things that I think need some work. Let's just get right into it. I'm on what's called the general search. And this looks like basically any other stock music library that you may have ever used or seen someone else using. Essentially, we've got a search box up here where we can search for keywords, artists, genres, and moods. Now, artists, not as helpful to search for because it's going to be the artists that are on their platform. And no offense to those artists, but you probably haven't heard of them. It's not going to be your Taylor Swifts and Katy Perrys of the world. It's going to be really slow motion and Two Red Jokers. Doesn't mean their music's not great. It's just not going to be the artist that you're thinking of. But otherwise, the search is just fine. So I could search for something like rock music, and then I'm going to be able to see different tags that include rock music. I'll view all tags, and sure enough, here's one that's rock. I would have liked that to be at the top of the list personally, and not have to click a disclosure triangle. But there we go. I am now sorting based on all of the songs in their library that are tagged as rock music. And I can scroll through, and there's quite a few here and get to the bottom of the page eventually, maybe. It just loads more and more. So there's lots of songs that are tagged with the word rock. Now you might notice over here, there's some other filters. This one says genres, and there's a little one next to it. If I click on genres and I scroll down until I find rock, it actually tagged the genre of rock. So it was smart enough to go in and filter out just that category. Now, my first complaint comes up right here. The search doesn't work exactly how my brain expected it to work. Let me give you a more clear-cut example of what I mean. So let's say I was looking up, I don't know, how about some smooth jazz? There's not a lot of smooth jazz here. So maybe I say, well, smooth jazz is okay, but there's nothing here I really like. Let me expand my search a little bit. I will add in, how about, I don't know, some soul music. Now I only see one track, and that's because it has to be a track that fits both smooth jazz and soul. Whereas in my mind, my expectation would be I would be looking at both genres. The search would be getting bigger, not smaller. But that's not how the platform works. This isn't a huge deal. It's just something that you need to know so you understand kind of their logic behind the platform, because the rest of the searches that you perform will be impacted by this. So I've reset my search here, and let me give you one more example. Over on the left here, there is a usage section where I can sort between the different types of usage that's available to me. I've got social media, which if I hover over this tooltip, I can see includes all of the regular social media platforms, including podcasts and any future social media that might arise. Then under extended usage, I've got all of those social media platforms, but it adds in things like wedding videos, film festivals, websites, games, applications, presentations. Of note, no broadcast here. So if you're going to be doing video on demand or broadcast television, you need a different license. So just contact them for that if you're that type of person. Okay, so back to my point here. If I were to check this box for extended usage, now I'm only seeing extended usage music. The social media music is ruled out, but that wasn't immediately clear because it's still checked over here. And in fact, I can't uncheck it. But extended usage kind of overrides that fact. All right, I'm going to do a search here for video games. And it gives me the tag gaming. So now I've got a list of songs that are good for gaming. And you can see here that shows up under a video type. Now, the search results are pretty good. We've got the album art, a big play button here, the artist name and the name of the track, some tags that are maybe at the top of the list, a overall waveform of the track, the runtime, and then a bunch of other features over here to do things like favorite tracks. So I'll favorite this one right here. I can add it to a project. I already created a project. I'll just add this track to it. There we go. That is done. I can find some similar tracks. So if I really like this one, I can find ones that are similar to it. Then this icon over here, this is for the stems. It's actually supposed to be like a mixing console. So remember, this is going to give us the individual tracks. I can do that 3 times per day. I'm not going to do it right now. I can download the track, or there's a disclosure triangle over here. And if I click on this, I'm going to see that I've got 2 other versions of this track. There is one with Hindi vocals, and there is one that's just instrumental. So if I wanted to grab a different version, I don't need the stems because they've already created an alternate mix for me. I can also see some metadata about the track and then a full list of tags. Notice that we had a few of the tags up here, but the full list is down below with that disclosure triangle. Now, what about listening to the track? So if I actually wanted to listen to the song, let's scroll down here a little bit. I'm going to play this one here, Abstraction, and I'll hit play. Now I get a nice little player over here. I can see the waveform. It's going to be kind of a slow build on this song. And then eventually it's going to get really loud near the end. And I can very easily skip to different sections of the track. And all of my other options in terms of favoriting it and adding it to a project are down here as well. So other than that little snag with search not working the way I expected to, the interface is pretty clean and simple to use. It's dark mode here, so I like that. There's not a switch as far as I can see to toggle it into a light mode, but it's pretty functional. You can focus on the music and nothing really gets in the way. Now, what happens to that music when you favorite it or it goes into a playlist? You find your playlist not up here where it says playlist. These are playlists that other people made. Instead, you have to go to the My Music section, which is under your user avatar. And here it is, My Music. So I can just click on Projects. And here's my demo project with the 3 tracks I've added to it so far. I can also get to my favorites over here, as well as see any downloads or purchases that I might have made. Now, the one thing that's missing as far as I can tell is some kind of a user system. So I would love to be able to collaborate on a project with maybe an editor or maybe just another collaborator that wants to find music with me, but there's no sharing system here for this playlist. And even though I get unlimited users, if I go into my account section here, I don't see any way to actually add an additional user. In the subscription tab, I can see all of the details of what I get with my AppSumo purchase. And then I've got the linked account section over here where I can add my YouTube channel so that it's whitelisted and I don't get any copyright flags if I were to play any of this music on my YouTube channel, which, by the way, I should whitelist this right now. All right, that's all done. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other features here. All right, I've got my YouTube channel whitelisted, so hopefully no copyright claims on this video. Let's go ahead and look at some of the other features. This is their homepage. So if I just click on Persona up here while I'm logged in, this is what you see. They like to promote a lot of these kind of creators that are involved with the product in some way. They're at least, kind of endorsing it, or they create playlists. So here is Hayden Hillier Smith. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry. He's a big time editor for, fancy YouTube channels like Logan Paul and Mark Rober and many others, as they say here. So I can actually listen to songs that he has selected. Here are 10 tracks that this guy likes and, uses in his music, in his production. So if I wanted to use those same tracks, I could. There's a bunch of playlists like this. If I click over to playlists here, you can see there's one from Logan Paul, one from this guy, John Simu, I don't know him. Then we've got a new rock stars and Emmy award winning soundtracks. So this is just the creators tab over here. There's also a musicians tab where we can see all of the musicians that are involved with putting music up on this platform. Now, I actually just had to reload the page to get the other search options to appear. Somewhere along the line, they disappeared. But now I've got my general search, which is where we started. There's also open search where I can just describe what I'm looking for. It says using any word, concept, or idea. Sounds similar, which will be, hey, find me something that sounds similar to Taylor Swift or Guns N' Roses or whatever you want. And then we've got Persona AI, which is an AI assistant we can, it looks like ChatGPT here. We can, and it says some of the prompts are Guns N' Roses, where all of the members are puppies. I don't even know what that would be. But basically, we can search for music in their library based on this kind of chat interface. Now, all 3 of these options take our AI credits, and we only get 10 of them per day. So let's start off with sounds similar, because I think that's one we can all kind of say, yes, this works, or no, it doesn't. I'm just going to search for an artist that, everybody kind of generally knows what they sound like, and we'll find out how good it is. I'll start off with AC/DC. All right, searching for AC/DC, and then they give me a list of tracks here. So how about AC/DC, I don't know, Back in Black. And now I've got a lot of tracks that apparently are going to sound somewhat, a lot of tracks that will sound somewhat like this. I will pick one at random here and let's see how good they do. Not off to a good start.
Well, I know we got a lot to learn. This whole world just keeps on turning.
All right, so to me, that doesn't sound anything like AC/DC. It's not energetic. It's not hard. It's just kind of, more of like a blues rock. I'm not saying it's bad, but it doesn't fit that sounds like criteria. It does give me this section over here. It says most representative segment. So let's check that out. Okay, there's like that section in Back in Black that has those kind of single note, like as it turns around back into the verse. So yeah, all right, kind of. I'll let it slide. Let's try another one here. I'm going to search for, how about, I'm from Minnesota. We're going to search for Prince. Let's look up Purple Rain. Again, a lot of options here. I'll just pick one at random. How about this one right here called Midnight? I'll hit play. And I've learned my lesson. Let's just go right to the most representative section.
You decided to take it home, and you haven't had a wink of sleep, so you tell me, 'cause you know you're growing old.
I mean, it kind of sounds more like Radiohead than Prince, in terms of the vocalist anyway. Not great here. I mean, it sounds similar. I don't expect anything identical, but Prince being Prince, and the production, the synthetic drums, the big sounding guitars, the beautiful vocals. I wasn't getting any of that from this little segment. All right, let's try something more modern. Maybe that's my problem. Let's look up some Taylor Swift. Oh, there's no options for Taylor Swift here. It doesn't give me any of her songs. So I'll try something else. All right, I typed in Katy Perry. I've only got one option. It's Feels featuring Pharrell, Katy Perry, and Big Sean. So, or there's this one right here, Starstruck featuring Katy Perry. I'll go with this one. Actually, no one's going to know this song. I don't know this song. Let's do something else. All right, if I just click on the search box, NSYNC comes up as the very first one. It says it's from Deadpool and Wolverine. I didn't know it was in that movie, but let's go ahead and see if there's anything that sounds like Bye 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 from NSYNC. I'm going to try to look for maybe some artwork that looks more like poppy. All right, how about this one right here? Take You Out.
I'll show you all up tonight.
I mean, not bad sounding, but definitely not in that pop genre at all. So it's kind of more of like an indie rock type of feel. All right, I'm giving up on Sound Similar. It's a cool concept, but maybe it just doesn't have enough content to pull from at this point. So let's go over to OpenSearch here, where I can describe anything I want using a word, concept, or idea. All right, I'm going to search for an old-timey love song. Let's see what we get here. Here's one called Rosebud. It was so good it's included twice. Let's see what that sounds like.
I won't fuss, I won't pay the rent. All my love was a heaven sent. Give me time.
Not bad, right? It's not terrible. Definitely kind of fits that vibe. Let's try one more. I don't want to use up all my searches because we've still got to get to the AI persona. That's a real bummer about only having 10 because it feels like, oh, I don't want to use too much. I think I've already used probably 3 or 4. All right, I heard this song earlier called Absolution. This is supposed to be for old-timey love song. I think this was like pretty hard rock. All right, I'm gonna skip ahead here to where it gets louder. No, I mean, it's like a cinematic kind of video game thing. Okay, so you get the point there. Not super compelling, at least as you get further down the list. Let's try one more. I'll try to stick to kind of the top here.
All I need is a long black train, smooth winding way back home. And all the girls, they know your name, and they never leave you alone.
All right, that's definitely closer to what I was looking for. So I think all of these AI search features are going to be kind of hit and miss because I don't think AI really understands the music quite yet, or at least the tools they're using to digest the music isn't really up there in terms of what you need. Okay, so let's check out the Persona AI feature before we wrap this whole thing up. So it says use pop culture references, describe your scene. The examples they give you are like, what's the song at the end of the Barbie movie? Can you find me a song that sounds like that? So that's kind of cool because it's combining like search all inside of one interface. But I'm not sure if it's going to give me much different results than what we saw on the other two AI powered tools. All right, so I try to be as pedestrian with this as possible and just say, I want a song with soaring guitars like that song in Top Gun that makes me feel excited. All right, I think we all know what the song that is. Let's go ahead and search for this, see what we get. For a song with exhilarating soaring guitars, consider a blend of rock and synthwave. Key instruments include electrifying electric guitars, that's complicated to say, pulsating synthesizers, and driving drums. It's like the high energy vibe of classic rock meets the adrenaline of a thrilling aerial battle. All right, that's a great description. Let's see what the results are. I'm just gonna go with the top one. Got a representative section over here. Okay, so kind of the key defining part of this search is that the guitar has the melody. It's the part that, people usually sing. There is no melody on this track. It's basically just a background song with, the harmony, the accompaniment. So I would love to find a track that actually has a melody performed by a guitar. See if AI can help me do that. I'm gonna skip to their most representative segment again. I mean, you can tell the quality of the tracks here are always very high. I haven't found anything that I thought was just like complete garbage, but the search part maybe it will just take more effort. But you know what? That's always part of this. This is why music editors are a thing. They know all of the songs and they can find them very quickly. As the average person trying to do this, it takes a lot of time. All right, here's one more. All right, I'm gonna just engage with the AI one more time and I'm gonna ask for a guitar solo. All right, so it's giving me a new list of tracks here. Again, really nice sounding, high quality production, but no guitar solo. There we go. Not really a solo, but it was like a single line melodic guitar. All right, so you get the idea here. All right, it's time to move on from the AI search and let's check out the last feature, which is sound effects. Now, when I click on the sound effects, it actually opens up a new tab and then it reloads a different subdomain kind of repeatedly. I'm inside, here's a little loading bar. This is a very strange experience. I'm inside of Safari, that's the browser of choice for me. And I had a really hard time getting this to actually load in Safari. So what I did was open up Arc. And in Arc, I was eventually able to log in after doing a password reset because apparently these two systems are not perfectly in sync with each other. And once I finally got logged in, it says authorization required. You already have an account, and then I need to request access. After I did that, I received an email letting me know that my access has been requested, and they'll let me know when I'm granted access. Basically, here's the message. We are currently processing your registration request, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So this is just a bizarre and weird experience. Kind of a bad way to end this review, because otherwise I was pretty in favor of this tool. Now, I'm sure eventually I'll get access, but I don't have all day to make these reviews. I try to get one out every single day. So I'm just gonna have to leave it here and assume that eventually I'll get access to the sound effects, but it seems to be a slightly different interface and maybe a little bit more dated looking, although there's lots of mentions of AI. It's not even in color. I feel like I'm looking at an old television. So I think it's time to give Persona Music a score. And when I start to think about the deductions, like the fact that the search didn't really function in a way that I think most humans function, I think that's a big detraction. There's also the issues with not being able to add extra users, even though they're included with the AppSumo account. I'm sure that will come eventually, I hope. but I don't see it anywhere on my interface right now. If someone knows how to do that, by the way, definitely leave me a comment. I want to get things right. And I will update this in the upcoming Taco Truck Roundup if there is any further updates on this situation. There's also the fact that the AI was just a little helpful, but not really that helpful. If it was 50% more helpful, it'd be a really cool feature. And now to top things off with the fact that I can't get logged into the sound effects without having to wait for some kind of approval. And it's using this Source Audio moniker, which I haven't heard of that before. I signed up for Persona. So what is Source Audio? I don't know. Well, that just leaves me feeling a little, confused. The one redeeming trait is that the music is all pretty high quality, and that is the most important thing and will save Persona when it comes to the final score. This one could have been approaching the 8s if everything went absolutely smoothly, which clearly it did not. So I was thinking it would be in the 7s until the sound effects glitch, and now we're looking kind of mid 6s, probably a 6.6. So that's going to do it for this video. If you want to grab your own copy of Persona, I've got a link down below in the description. You should also check out clientamp.com. That is my website where you can find our online courses, sign up for our free email newsletter, or even hire me to work on your online business. Thank you for watching. My name is Dave Swift. If you've enjoyed the content, hit the like button, hit subscribe, drop me a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next review.